good morning, good evening, good night, good day, good morrow. I am Hyper G, he is Lucky Sixes.
How art thou?
Thou is fine. We are PTG, Proxy Table Gaming, and we're here for another battle report in the 9th of age. It is.
It's the best 9th game out there.
Yes, I hope. Well, actually, that's a bit controversial, isn't it? Yeah. There's another 9th edition of something floating around that we don't play.
Yeah, it's some crappy small game on brown bases.
Yeah, no one really plays it. I don't think it matters, does it? Yeah. So cool. I'm gonna just move on quickly to. Oh, it's the map again. I love seeing this map. This is good. Oh, I've just noticed that. I think I've probably looked at this beast herd picture 2 or 3 times. He's holding an arm.
He is. He's a beast.
Yeah. I think I joked with you when I saw this screen that my chameleon can take out that one beast herd any day.
It's absolutely true.
Unless the beast herd gets into combat with it. And if he does, then the chameleon probably deserves to die. So
he'll take his arm off.
Yeah, and take the scales off as well. So another Saurian battle for you guys. I'm at the helm of it again, so same list as I used before. But the beast herds, well, who plays beast herds?
Who does that?
Luke Trunter, he plays beast herds.
He does.
Jeff
Keighley,
he plays beast herds. Tommy
we're
T.
not at that standard. We're not at that standard, I'm afraid.
What, Tommy T standard?
I don't know. I don't know yet. No, what standard?
Who else could be playing beast herds though? Lucky Sixes.
Me.
Ooh,
it's a new army.
It is, and ramp up the proxy rating.
Oh, I know.
This is going to be good.
I do have a few models.
You do. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, this is starting out, and thought give beast herds a go. Get the goats on the go.
Yeah. Rolled up counter thrust and spoils of war. Which is this. As soon as I saw spoils of war, we had that conversation. We thought you only had 2 scoring units, didn't we?
Yeah.
But then later on, we realised you didn't.
I don't.
No, you have none. No, not really. Go for it. The forum is yours. The floor is yours.
So Kruger is my Centaur Chieftain, and that'll be a staple. Hawthorne's cursed sort of chappy that runs around throwing bolt throws at everyone.
Yeah.
Shamanism Soothsayer with bits. Beast Lord General with Beast Chieftain, BSB, both pretty well defended in the Longhorn herd. So like almost, I don't know whether it's classed as a Death Star, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
There's a lot of points in that. Yeah. Then ambushing wild horns, big unit wild horns, raiding chariots, and then like all the monsters. I just wanted to try out as much as I could for 4,500 and still have those characters.
Yeah.
So the characters went in first, and then the rest came in after.
Yeah. I mean, so I can't remember seeing a battle with a Jabberwock and a Cyclops in.
Yeah. I mean, at this stage, I don't know shit about beast herds.
No.
So I'm just looking at one thing I want, because I've got the model, is the Hawthorne Curse Centaur.
Yeah.
Soothsayer's in because I need magic, and at the minute I'm like, well, both of them together, they got totems, magic. See how that works. See how that mechanic works. Want to see how the ambushing mechanic works, so that's got to be in there at some point. Really like the idea of 3 chariots in core for 3d6 impact hits. That's rank 5, and that's cool. Good zoning. And I love a chariot, right? So, and beast herds are like pretty good at chariots.
What they do.
I want to see Longhorns and Beast Lords and Beast Chieftain over the Minotaur version of those. I want to see what they can do. Quite like Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Quite like that idea, actually. And then Gortak, because Gortak. And then the others, I'll just see what else I can fit in, really.
Yeah. No, it's good. Good to see them.
So work in progress. Definitely need some help with this, guys.
But you're open to suggestions, aren't you? So
very much so.
And a lot of the army hasn't been bought yet, so
No.
You are flexible with what you
Ironically, I've got more Minotaurs than anything.
And they aren't in your first battle.
And even in my first list.
Brilliant.
So there's loads I still want to try out, but the idea behind this is it's not like necessarily a cohesive list, but it's just trying out as much as I can different of the mechanics.
Yeah. And there was a lot of rules crunching, wasn't there, checking the book out? I remember at one point I told you that your general has hunting call and what it does.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, that's cool, isn't it?
It's really good.
So, yeah.
I did well to include it. I like it.
You definitely did. Yeah, definitely did. It's my standard Saurian list. Nothing's changed. Again, like I said, trying out the same list again, trying to get better with it. Obviously, I am off the back of a victory, so that was nice. Looking to repeat it, really, against a different opponent, different enemy. This is a deployment. We exchanged 1 drop each, didn't we? You dropped your Wildhorn big block. I dropped my Raptor Riders. And then you dropped 4 first.
Yeah, I did realise that at this point I didn't have much chaff because Gargoyles scout. So I didn't have much to drop first. So that's not going to be a thing I was interested in. So actually my least useful unit at this point was the big unit of core Wildhorns, which is crazy, especially in Spoils of War, which is a mad thing too. So yeah, so at the very top of the picture, they're the ambushing Wildhorns, so they're not there. Forget about them. Scrub them out of your eyes.
I'm not sure you can see them because of my screen sharing button. Anyway.
So right. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. Don't forget I said anything because nothing is there.
There is a toilet there, though.
So there is, and that's for when I crap myself and everything comes at me. So yeah, I put them down. Then you put the Raptors, and then I sort of thought, right, I think I can play around your positioning for your Raptors because obviously there's a nice juicy flank that my Centaur chap has. His tail fell off as well. He's my only bloody one that I've got painted, and his tail fell off. Anyway,
we didn't do any close-ups of him, I don't think. We might have got one.
That's right. If you go on the forum, I've put him virtually in every single thread on everybody's
thing.
Okay, so you'll see him at some point.
The thread about how to play the game. There's a picture of him.
Yeah. Here is a boost. Yeah. I'll give a really good Tactica, and then, by the way, here's a bit of Centaur Chieftain.
Fair enough.
But no, yeah. So, off the bat, I don't really know this list on what works together. So, I wanted my beast, Longhorn unit out of line of sight of the Raptors. So, I moved them so that they could be when I move up on my first turn. I dropped for first as well. Centaur Chieftain, again, exactly the same. I want a flank shot with my bolt thrower. So that's there. I thought the Jabberwock and the Gortak actually worked pretty well in my point of view against your chameleons who will poison the Gortak to death. So because he's got fly quite high and a really decent strength 3 AP2 breath weapon, which against chameleons that can't be shot and whatever is pretty good. So I quite liked that as a sort of protection thing against with the Gortak. It's a lot of points to just have there, but yeah, and obviously I've not got many scoring, so I wanted to protect one of the spoils because this is before you've gone down with my monsters. Because I thought if you go onto there, I'll just monster the fuck out of you.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is an actual official term.
It is. It's in the rulebook.
9th age. Yeah, page 69, I believe.
Juvenile.
Cyclops is the giant. So on the right, the Jabberwock is the Chimera. The flying monster.
It's been a while since we've had to explain our proxiness.
I know.
Although actually, the Vermin Swarms list in the last one was completely proxied. We didn't even mention that.
Yeah. The giant makes an appearance on a different base as a Cyclops, and he's going to be just shooting as much as I can. So I wanted him pretty central to my army. Those was my thoughts again. And then the what's it called, the chariots, I thought really I just want them protecting my wild horns and potentially going in for flank charges and things like that, or zoning as well. So it's kind of using the hill to help me against that for anything that goes behind that, because then anything goes on the hill, I'll charge it and do some wounds. But obviously they're not amaze balls, but they can do some hurt. So that's the plan for now. I wanted to see how the shaman, who has got with the ancestral carvings, isn't bad in combat. He's not like amazing.
Attacks,
he's not,
strength 5.
but for a shaman, he's pretty good. So I wanted to see how he would do in that unit of wild horns.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know whether it's probably better to put him in the longhorns and have like a proper Death Star or what. But I wanted to see if I could do it when he wasn't in the longhorn.
Yeah, makes sense.
And Gargoyles had nowhere to go, so I put them behind them as well. I just didn't know where to put them.
Yeah,
to be honest opinion.
Yeah, so for myself, I did obviously fancy the Chameleons against the Gortak. Not so much against the Jabberwock, as the Jabberwock's 4-up armor save. But the Gortak had to be taken down by the Chameleons. Whether or not I'd manage it or not is debatable. I hadn't really taken into account the breath weapon, but breath weapons are swingy, so they can be good or they can be bad. So there was taking that risk. When I deployed the Raptors, I don't know whether I'm almost certain you didn't do this intentionally, right? But you properly poker faced me into not dropping for first turn right off the bat, because basically, I think when you were talking about your first deployment, you said to me, "Can I drop for second?" Ask me a genuine question.
Yeah.
Because you'd never even considered that before. You always drop for first.
Why
would you think about anything else?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, you can drop second. Of course you can. Yeah, you're allowed to do that. And so I don't know whether subconsciously I'd got into my head that you wanted second turn.
Yeah.
Because I then dropped my Raptors.
I think overall I did, actually. In a weird way. I was like, because actually spoils would work. You're not overly shooting, and I'm far enough away, I think, 20 inches, to not be shot at with my Gortak and stuff. I don't know, what can you move? Yeah, so I'd be safe. So I'm like, actually, it wouldn't be terrible if I had second. But then when I saw an opportunity to potentially get in the flank of your cold ones, Raptors, sorry, I thought actually that's a really good opportunity. So I changed my mind completely and went back to my original.
Absolutely. Like I say, I think you genuinely just changed your mind.
Yeah.
But as it happens, I was gutted that I'd lost first turn. You say that you think the Gortak and everything would have been fine, but with that forest there, obviously if I deploy first, the Chameleons aren't down. I don't know whether your Gortak still goes over there if I've only got the Skinks on that side. But my Chameleons are going after your Gortak and your Jabberwock. I just have to take it afterwards. But if I get first turn and I'm in the forest, the Gortak's down before your turn.
No, but you can't get him.
Why not?
Can't shoot him, can you?
Why not?
What movement are you?
6'12".
Oh right, so the normal Skinks can't, but the Chameleons.
No, the normal Skink can't. No.
Okay. Yeah,
the normal
I got that
Skinks
a bit
can
wrong.
take it down. Yeah, 38 poison shots.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I was gutted that when I deployed the Raptors, I didn't just take first turn. Yeah. So like I say, you just changed your mind. But
my Gortak wasn't down at that point.
No, exactly. But my Chameleons go after your Gortak, no matter where you deploy them. That's where they're going, and they're scouting.
Yeah, but if you drop, oh yeah, sure, yeah,
they're scouting.
Right.
So they're after him, no matter where you put him. My scouts are coming after him. So yeah, I was a bit. I've missed my chance for first. I should have just taken it. I don't gain much from having the Raptors down. In fact, I lost out because now you know where to put your Chieftain, who is vanguarded. Yeah, so I was a bit annoyed about that. Annoyed at myself, not you changing your mind. You're perfectly allowed to do that. So I got Stygiosaur on the Taurosaur, the Quattles over there on the left with the Saurian warriors. The Ramphadon's vanguarded to the behind the hill. Safe enough.
Yeah,
and that's
what I mean. Like, I see so many more advantages for coming first, for going first. Like, you put aggression on, like, you don't lose anything before your first turn, which is always like a, if nothing else, like a psychological thing. But I know that there are out there armies that prefer to go second, for whatever reasons.
Yeah,
and I don't know whether beast herds are one of them armies. So it's one
Put
of
it in
those.
the comments. Tell us.
I do need help with that, but like my centaur, he's like sober now, isn't he? At the minute, and then because I quite like that mechanic, but he can vanguard and move 18.
He can go where he wants. Yeah,
he's
one up armor save, isn't he? So
that's class.
It is.
Two
I went.
Maybe one up.
No, I think it's one up.
Two up. Oh, okay.
I went divination for this one as well. Just so you know.
Yes.
And so this is your aggressive moving up on your left flank, my right. Yeah, you move into breath weapon range with your javelin.
Yeah, so breath weapon, because all I want to do is I was trying to look at. I was obviously 20 inches away. I was quite like I didn't have much room to maneuver because I'm not a 20 movement 10, 20 flyer. But what I wanted to try and do is if I can get what do I need to do? 3 wounds with my breath weapon, then and panic them. Then I could potentially try and get them to flee away, and through another one of your units to panic potentially. So you just need to keep you rolling discipline tests.
Absolutely, yeah.
The way to beat good discipline is keep rolling. Just keep rolling until you fail.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so put the centaur there so they had options, but was always really going for the raptors. And then the longhorns move up to be on the spoils and out of line of sight.
Yeah, you moved your wild ones back, didn't you?
Yeah, at this point I'm like, I don't, because the Ramphrodons have got the block toad on them and the chariot.
Yes.
So I don't want to leave any easy, silly charges at this point. I've got shamanism to buff up and the totems and things. Yeah. So, and my chariots move back so that your Raptors can't go round to the back.
Indeed.
So, basically, I want you not to have a very good position with them next turn. Is my so you take a risk potentially.
Yeah, and the bonus of moving backwards was it meant your soothsayer could get in line of sight.
Yeah.
Of the chameleons over here for swarm of insects.
Yeah, exactly. So which swarm of insects wounds on a 5. I'm like, whoa. Actually, a tiny bit gutted to only do 2.
Oh yeah.
But just again, really, I wasn't after. Swarm of insects will wipe them out, which it could, I guess, but just wanted to make them test. Keep testing. There's a plan.
Yeah. Over here, though. Ooh.
Yeah, breath weapon. I think it had 10.
11. I remember.
11. I remember. Yeah. So 11 wounded on 3s did 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you passed your panic. So.
I did pass my panic. Yes. Yeah, gutted when that 11 come up.
But yeah, but as you can see from this as well, like if they'd so when you pivot, because you've got a 3rd rank on that skink unit, they potentially would have gone through it.
Yeah, I think so.
And I don't know, maybe it would have been close, but that was probably if you if I don't do as many wounds, if you panic and run, then you definitely would. But yeah, so that was the plan, just to keep. But you passed your test, so
I did. Yes.
Happy days.
But yeah, that chameleon unit is neutered somewhat. Still,
poison
shots.
Yeah. What's that? That's like 12 poison shots. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's big difference. Yeah. Kruger.
Kruger puts two wounds on your raptors, which I'm happy with. 2 out of 5.
Yeah. And like you say, you're doing wounds to me turn 1. I haven't moved yet.
Yeah, that's it.
And I've lost 8 chameleons and 2 raptors before I even moved. So,
and what I was surprised at, and it wasn't overly intentional, was actually how much range my beast herds had.
Yeah.
So with Kruger, with the breath weapon, with shamanism stuff, does have some swarm of insects and things. So I've got a little bit. Obviously, I'm well combat focused.
And the catbolt, yep.
And the catbolt to come.
Cyclops, yeah.
Which is probably the next picture, right? Or does it not do anything?
I don't know.
It didn't do anything this time. But yeah,
I think you misfired. Actually, you took a wound.
Oh yeah. So I've got options, which is nice. I quite like that.
So going into my turn 1, these chameleons in the forest now failed their march test. So they could only move 6 inches, which meant they couldn't escape the Gortak's line of sight without moving backwards. But I was very much focused on killing that Jabberwock, or trying to.
Revenge!
With my depleted chameleons. But I did move my Skink Brave unit with both my captains into range of shooting it as well. One of the captains moved to block the chaff the Gortak, while facing the Jabberwock. Kindly, you actually reminded me. I actually initially started this move by chaffing the Jabberwock with a captain, and you very kindly,
wings.
Yeah, you very kindly reminded me that he flew. So yeah, that changed the game plan entirely, because I was actually thinking Gortak. It's all about killing the Gortak. Chaff the Jabberwock, come back for the Jabberwock later. But once I realised he had wings and my Brave unit was probably going to die, it was about killing the Jabberwock. Like I say, difficult to do because it has got a 4-up arm save.
You're just fishing for 6s. Yeah. Don't know. I think it's 5 with him.
Maybe. So now I've changed to killing the Jabberwock, but obviously the Gortak is killing a captain on turn 2. Your turn 2 is not ideal, because really I want that chaff lasting a bit longer than that. Over here, weighed up my options with the Raptors and everything. And I decided to go a bit aggressive with everything and try and basically ignore your Longhorns. March forward with the Raptors, go forward with the Saurian Warriors and the Taurosaur. Move the Ramphadons onto the hill to get a reroll on their charge for the next turn, because both the Block Toads are on those units.
Yep.
And my Quattle basically moving out the way to make sure the Longhorns don't have any decent charges. I think that charge on the Stygiosaur is a bit far.
Yes.
Hopefully. And I'm basically thinking, all good really with that. I was planning on buffing up the Raptors to the hilt, so that if you did declare a charge on the Wildhorns, then I would hold with the Raptors and able to get a counter charge on the Wildhorns if you decided to charge them.
Yep.
That was the plan with them, because the Raptors are 2-up armor save, and your Wildhorns are strength 4 once they pop their banner, which is 1 use only. So I was hoping that by doing that, 3-up armor save, I might be able to keep a few of the Raptors alive and hold that combat, especially with Guiding Light on the Raptors, which obviously the divination spell. So that was the thinking. And the Raptors are out of line of sight of the Longhorns, so there's no reinforcements from there. But what happened was you let through Spark of Creation on the Cyclops, which wasn't unexpected. It did 1 wound, because you'd already taken 1 from the misfire.
Yeah.
Wasn't unexpected, but I don't think I had a huge amount of dice, and it meant I could only also get scrying off on the Raptors. You dispelled Know Thy Enemy, which meant that the Raptors would have been attacking before the Wildhorns.
Yep.
So that was obviously the right one to dispel. It would have given me offensive and defenses 6 as well, which would have been handy.
Yep.
But getting scrying off was useful. Just wasn't quite as buffed up on my Raptors as I wanted to be, really. Over here, well, hey, don't care that you've killed a few chameleons, because the 2 units of chameleons do the job. I don't even have to shoot with the braids.
No, just went down.
Yeah, I think you failed all your armor saves, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't know he was made of feathers.
Yeah, so that was funny. Not for you.
Yeah, probably. It was. It was good.
But the captain who chaffed the Gortak was facing the Jabberwock, and then the Jabberwock went down before.
Yeah, it was just the chameleons.
It was just
what's that? 11 chameleons.
Yeah, 22 shots. Did 5 wounds on the Jabberwock. Nice.
But I think you did 6, didn't you?
I think I did 6. Yeah. You failed.
I just failed all my armor, but it happens. And you rolled really good on the poisons and wounds. So. happens.
I think by average he should have survived, but yeah, I think I said roll your armor save, and you were like, don't worry about it. I didn't roll a 4 up. So, yeah. Going into your turn.
Beasts! Come on, the beasts! Brrr.
Damn.
Yep. So you left me a 10 on the left.
I did.
Which I thought was... Well, I have to take it. There's no there's no way I can... Because otherwise you're just free to roam. I can't chaff you. You will charge. I've got to take it. And I got in. I think I rolled an 11.
You did.
I think.
Battle of the 11.
Yeah. So I'm well happy with that because impact hits and stuff. I'm buzzing. And I took the charge on the Raptors because I did it in my head. I was like, I think the static combat res. I think I'm +5. A charge, banner, 3 ranks. Yeah. And I was like, how many does he have to do? And I think you had to do 13 wounds to get rid of my 3rd rank. So I was like, if I'm losing that, I've lost anyway. So I think the static combat res was really high in my favour. And all I need to do is like 2 or 3 wounds to stop some attacks coming back at me and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I was just hoping to hold it. So I wasn't expecting to win it if that came in.
Yeah. And I got magic, right?
If I'm honest, I was hoping you wouldn't take it, in all honesty. But, yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously I'm going to pop my banner to be strength 4 to wound better because it's like a spell. I quite like those one use only stuff. I like spells, and then see how much spells and stuff I can get in. Yeah. My thoughts were if I fail that for any stupid reason as well, I've got the gargoyles to thing. So if I roll like double 1, which I think I needed a 3 or something, it was like really close. But I was like, if it does go wrong, it's not the end of the world because I've got like movement 20 gargoyles. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ambushes came on. Because this was another thing, a reason why I potentially wanted to go second was because originally when we put down, we were like, ambushes come on turn 1. It's
that was
great.
what hunting called us, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, unless you go first. Oh.
So they had to wait till turn 2.
Yeah, so they had to wait. But they came on because it was 3 re-rollable to come on. And their only goal is to disrupt over here and see if I can whittle down and get the objective late game.
Yeah, because I think this is when we realised you had more than 2 scoring units. When we realised they're scoring even though they're ambush. Which, of course, we kind of knew because beast heads are really good at breakthrough for that reason.
So I took the charge on the chaff with my Gortak.
Of course,
and then kind of changed my approach with my Centaur. Mainly because the Raptors are the choice because he's AP 10, but because it hits on 3 all the time, which is insane.
Yeah. So forget that I'm in a forest. Forget that I'm hard target 2. You're hitting on 3.
It's insane. It's insane, and he's like strength 6 and 3, I think. So even the other rank things again. So I just want to be over here to be in both flanks. To give me options because obviously my ambushers are going to shoot at the skinks in front of them.
Yeah.
So if they're running for any reason, I'll go on the other guys. But I'm probably going on the chameleons with Centaur
the
as well.
Wild Horn throwing weapons. I mean, people familiar to beast herds won't be like wow by this, but we were like really loving the beast herds at this point because that unit of throwing 15 throwing weapon Wild Horns, 30 shots.
30, and
that's
again,
absolutely insane.
I mean, maybe this is the perfect initiation for him because strength 3 against res 2 is good.
Yeah. It's pretty handy. Yeah.
And that unit don't have any hard target or anything, do they? Because they're just the cool ones. So should be looking good over there.
So your gargoyles weren't needed.
Yeah. I didn't know where to put them. I thought about where I could go. I couldn't quite. In truth, their initial movement and deployment wasn't very good, but I didn't quite have enough to completely chaff the Taurosaur and the Saurus on the left. So I just put them there because they're a bit closer. There's no thought or rhyme or reason for this movement here. But Longhorns come up to go aggro.
Yeah. You were kind of hoping that your Wild Horns would overrun if they beat the Raptors. away
that's
from
the plan. Because I think I need a 7, maybe, to get out.
Depends how many I kill as well, doesn't
it? Yeah, sure, right. So it depends on that and all the stuff. I want it to overrun, get out, and if not, then I'm maybe out of the Saurus and stuff like that. So
you can flee.
It doesn't matter that I'm kind of chaffing myself if I do, because they've got the spoils in the center. So, and I'm hoping that over time, my Gortak, ambushers, and Centaur will win me the other flank to get the objective there. So
definitely.
That's the plan.
You break the spirit up on me to give me -1 to hit. And you got awaken the beast off for strength.
So +1 strength. This is a really nice combo.
Well, we were looking at the totems, weren't we? And oh my god,
so good.
With shamanism, they combine so well. You had did you have a +1 strength totem?
The totems do 2 spells each. The issue with them is that they're really easy to stop.
Yeah, well,
like here, you just stop. You save all your dice for that, which means you have quite a good array of shamanism.
Yeah.
Spells.
But you had so many spells that did AD. You had 3 spells that added to your armor penetration. I couldn't. I stopped 2 of them, and I was delighted. But in order to do that, I had to take and break the spirit.
And awaken the beast. So I think I did also try the friends. What is it?
Savage Fury.
Savage Fury as well, but I kept failing that.
1/1/2 you rolled,
yeah, something like that. But it didn't really matter. I got 2 spells off, and that's pretty good in a combat.
That
which I think is already, because I'm charging, is already stacked a little bit in my favour.
It definitely is now.
So doing that, I was pleased.
I only killed the 3 with the throwing weapons. Sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, no, just with Crown of Horns to automatically pass the rerolls to hit, which is kind of a spell in itself. I think it's pretty. That's again good combo over there. I'm looking forward to the combo. But only 3.
I'm not.
I think they hit on 5s. Did they moved their short range? But and then so it wasn't great. It wasn't enough for a panic.
I think I saved a few armors as well, 5 up armor. So.
Yeah, sure.
But what?
Cyclops came down.
Yes, Cyclops hit them, didn't it?
Yeah. So I chose to do the Cyclops next, and it hit. And I think I did another 3 or 4 wounds.
You killed 3 with the Cyclops, and then 2 died
which
from running.
Took you over to make you do a panic. You failed your panic, and then 2 for running. So all I need is another failed discipline. It's all about just keep discipline, keep doing it, keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and now my Centaur has a shot, and he doesn't need to go against them now. So he wants to get rid of that.
Yeah. Well done, Cyclops.
So
you killed 2 with your sharpshooter Kruger.
Yep, but it's 2 out of 7. So it was a panic.
I think I passed that one though.
But you passed.
Yeah.
But that's
I think
fine.
So anyway. I think so.
That's fine. I've killed 2. So that's 4 poison shots, not on my Gortak.
Yeah.
And my Gortak obviously just stomps you into the ground.
I think I attacked first, but didn't do anything.
Yeah, you might have, yeah.
But yeah. And so that flank is looking a little bit ropey over there, actually. I've lost most of my army on that side, which wasn't really the plan. I think that was pretty much determined by the fact I wasn't going first, if I'm honest. But hey, and a good breath weapon. And you realising Kruger hits on 3s. All helps. And a catapult hitting. There's a lot of things that made that one turn out all right.
Yeah, everything working together.
Yeah, and speaking of everything working together, look at that line of sight after the combat.
Yeah, man. And so you killed 4, which was enough to take that back rank sight-wise off me. And I killed 4 also. My shaman doing 3.
Did 3 of them, didn't it, with his ancestral carvings weapon?
Yeah, which was nice.
I think it made him strength 6, didn't it? So with the wake
possibly
of the
7. Possibly 7.
Yeah,
because he's Oh no, yeah, it might be because he's 3 to 5 to 6. Yeah,
3 attacks, killing 2 raptors.
Yeah.
No, it's 3 raptors. Sorry.
No, he killed all of them. He hit with all, and then wounded with all, and then I think you were on a 5-up or something.
Yeah, very good hitting with all, considering I was distracting. But you
I got reroll or something. Yeah, so yeah, and then on the top, so they overran, got out of line of sight. Whoop-de freaking do.
Massive.
Your stalker standard as well, so the break spirit doesn't matter.
No. I did get away, but yeah.
Yeah. And in the top left, I killed 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Outright,
or maybe 3.
I think I did like 7. No, sorry, 5.
Oh yeah, wounds. Yeah, you did. You did 5 wounds, and I actually did 3 wounds to one of the chariots, didn't I? You'll notice the chariots I'm using are the gobbo chariots.
Yeah,
you're using rather.
I'm using against you.
You were very concerned about the fact they were on the edge of the board, weren't you?
Oh, I didn't like it.
Falling off the table. So that's why that chariot is there. He's not.
Yeah,
dead.
So he's meant to be on the left of those as we look at it. But yeah, so and luckily they were able to pivot out of line of sight. Weren't able to. In an ideal world, I would have had them pivoted more towards, say, the Longhorns.
Yeah.
Obviously not aiming at the Longhorns, but yeah. But in order to get out of line of sight, I had to go there. So
yeah,
so be it. You know.
Yeah, and
now they're going to look
kind of left flapping in the wind with my Taurosaur and my Saurian warriors, really.
Yeah.
So that has gone horribly wrong with that raptor movement forward. Not only did I not hold the combat, but I haven't got any countercharge. So
and
gutted.
From my point of view, I'm really banking on the wild horns on the right getting the spoils and you not getting anywhere near my Longhorns.
It's looking good though. It's looking good over there as well. Really looking good. And what's this? This is how I move in my turn 2, I think. So rally the raptors. I decided not to charge the gargoyles because I figure you were probably going to flee. So I would just reassess my position, basically. I was happy to let your chariots have a rear charge on my Saurians because I put my Stygiosaur there to countercharge it. I figured I'd hold with the rerollable discipline and being steadfast. And I also moved my Quattle and Stygiosaur to face the chariots to try and blast them. Divination magic. That was the plan. So all my magic going towards the chariots while you chaff your own Longhorns, basically, with your wild horns.
Yeah, which it'll happen.
You know, it was unavoidable, but it was what you wanted because you got out of line of sight. So
yeah,
and in this picture, the salamander hasn't actually moved. This was my picture of end of movement phase, and then we realised the salamander hadn't moved. So he will move in a moment. I think I go towards the gargoyles just to kill a few of them. Although really, I mean, I was probably being a bit ambitious at trying to kill the gargoyles with salamander when I could have just done a bit of damage to your wild horns, maybe.
Yeah.
Or your wild horns, but
because really, I only need one to survive, right?
Exactly, and then you're still chaffing. So maybe I should have just accepted that and got a unit where I could have got more damage.
Yeah.
But anyway, I rally with my Skink Braves at the bottom right, which is something at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. It means you've got to do something.
More discipline tests.
Yeah. Exactly. Although you are now closer to that objective with a scoring unit than I am, so completely reverse that one.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the 2 other chameleon units were fleeing, but I don't think they were. Yeah, just move like that. Just try and shoot the Gortak really without getting too close to anything. But obviously now I'm kind of got threats on every side with them. So I think the chameleons on the top are out of line of sight of the chieftain, at least. So
yeah. And as well, they're blocked by the Gortak because he's big.
Yeah, exactly.
He won't big mother.
Mm-hmm. The salamander does fairly well against the gargoyles. So kills 3. Obviously, you can only do a maximum of 5 hits against that unit, but it does and kills 3 of them, which is fairly good actually. Considering I think it probably wasn't the best target for him.
Res 4, so yeah. 3. Yeah.
And my chameleons do 3 wounds to the Gortak, which is good going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so chipping away at him now. But obviously, in the next turn, your turn, you do the right charge in the right order. Unfortunately,
Yes.
I was really hoping you'd just lose concentration and just charge with the Gortak first. But no, you didn't. You charged with the Wild Horns first.
Yeah, Wild Horns first in your flank, and obviously you can't cover that.
No,
so you fled. But you fled far enough to be out of Gortak, so there's no redirecting once he does it. And then you failed your terror, I think.
I did, yes. I wonder actually if I'd held with the chameleons, would your Gortak have been able to charge the skinks at the back? What do you think?
If you held with the chameleon, probably not. But then I would have charged with the Gortak as well to see, and they got a terror.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I suppose then that discipline terror test would have been on the chameleons, so they would have fled, and I've had to do a new test for the other skinks. But hey,
yeah, exactly. So it's all. But yeah, so
same effect.
That was good, and they fled off the board at the bottom, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So my two chaps will be my units will be stumbling forward.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, job done, really.
Yeah, I'm happy with this side. I know I've lost a Jabberwock, but I'm happy with that. And then I made another decent charge. I think it was number 10.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, re-rollable this time, so
yeah, this one was more doable, wasn't it?
Yeah, more doable, but yeah.
I think divination magic only did 2 wounds to you in my last turn as well, which was a bit disappointing because I wanted to get them down to like 1 chariot, really. I think you got 4 wounds on your.
I have,
on each
which
chariot.
was interesting.
For core chariots, that's not bad.
Yeah, really good.
So yeah, unfortunately means my skinks have got a bit of fighting to do, which is a bit concerning on impact hits. 2d6 strength 5 impact hits could cause a bit of damage.
I'm just pleased to. I should not die, and I should win combat. So it's just sticking around and keeping them in place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy with the chariots in this battle. They've done a good job. Although actually, ironically, they're only 1 point up on the Ramphadons so far, because they cost 1 point less. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but yeah, they're doing the business.
They're causing me problems, making me face them rather than anything else.
Exactly.
You charge again on the Raptors. I guess I could have fled it, but I wanted to keep the Wild Horns because I'm in your way as much as anything.
Yes.
Because they're sort of an easy chaff for me against the Longhorns. So, although obviously you couldn't charge the Longhorns this turn. So.
No, they're just second. Again, they're just sort of sitting on the spoils. I don't really know how good they are in combat, but it should be pretty good. So I'm happy just to have a couple of things in late game, should it come to it.
Yeah, I think I don't think I mentioned last turn my Saurian warriors moved on to the objective up there as well. So
yeah.
Making it 1-1 technically at the moment. It's a bit funny because none of us really know how this Wild Horn Raptor thing is going to end up. Like we're both waiting for the charge, aren't we? To see who can charge who and the situation we can gather, really. Until that Wild Horn Raptor duel is over. Neither of us can do a lot. I've forgotten whose turn it was. Your turn.
My turn. So I chaff the Taurosaur and put some spells off on, again, Awaken the Beast to make them back to strength 4 and Break the Spirit on the guys, which you just accept because you're not going to march.
Correct. I wasn't planning on marching or charging with them.
Yeah.
Really, there wasn't a huge target for me. Obviously you've chaffed the Taurosaur just so that the Taurosaur goes into the Wild Horns, if he goes into the Wild Horns, on your turn rather than mine.
Yeah, well, again, I'm hoping the static combat res is enough to flee your Raptors, to be honest.
And you can have a run,
should the worst thing happen and they stay there, at least you've got Break the Spirit off on the Saurus, so a few of them will die, and the Taurosaur won't go in till later. So, although technically, if it's your thing, you can change it. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those your weird chaffings. You've chaffed him, but not in the redirect kind of way. Just in the delayed way.
Yeah. Speed bump.
Yep. Your chieftain does 2 wounds, cuts the chameleon unit in half, but they pass the discipline. So
yeah, all about discipline.
They're standing till the end. And yeah, raptors die as expected, really.
Shaman did 2 again, which is great.
Yeah, 2 or 3. So 5 out of 6 wounds from him.
Yeah.
Very cool. Did my raptor get away again? He did. Yeah. Bonus.
Yeah. But I fled far enough to now unleash my longhorns.
Yeah, I think I fled 11 and you fled 9, something like that. So we were out of there, weren't we? So
yeah, man.
And yeah, going into my turn, obviously you now have chaffed the Taurosaur, and your longhorns are free. So
yes.
I think the Taurosaur needs like an 8 or a 9 to overrun, something like that.
Yeah, so again, just hoping you don't have... Yeah, do it.
Over here, bit of carnage. Lots of impact hits, killed skinks.
Yeah, your skinks did pretty well, actually, to do like 3 wounds, I think.
Yeah, they did. I think they... was it 6s to wound, or was it 5s? I think it was 5s, actually.
Yeah, res 4. So
3, yeah. But yeah, they pulled out some wounding blows and reduced the chariot down. And I'm not too concerned about this, because I now hold being steadfast. Because my Stygiosaur can come in now. So, but like you say, I think the chariots have done their job, because they've distracted me enough. So
yeah, if they can whittle them down, that's a wonderful job. But now I'm into the grind where chariots do not prosper.
No. Yeah, I fled off the board, in fact, with my raptor, which was, I think he was rallying on a 4, rerollable.
Yeah.
But still, didn't manage it. So he's gone, which at least ends that little duel. I moved my chameleons to hide behind your Gortak, knowing the chieftain can still get them if he wants to. But
yeah,
this is about trying to do 3 poisoned wounds with my 4 shots, really, on the Gortak, which is obviously hoping a bit much. Cool, so Salamander goes up and chaps your longhorns. Your characters are both on that side, actually, aren't they? So
yeah.
I have stopped them charging out on their own.
Chaff the characters, because they would.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Stopping the Taurosaur from charging is half the battle, really. The Taurosaur does go in and try to kill the gargoyles. Shouldn't preempt that too much. And Stygiosaur...
going to happen.
Yeah, Stygiosaur goes in to attack the chariot as well. And hopefully bail out the Quassel, who was sweating a little bit on that.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
obviously, if the chariot runs down the Quassel, then it's game over, isn't it? So, you know. Yeah, this was good. Chameleons.
Yeah.
4
2 out of
dice.
4, man.
2 6s. Yeah, amazing. I think one of them actually wounded. So we actually had to roll it a wound roll. If that had been a 6, then it would have done the 3rd wound and killed it.
Yeah. All my days.
So that is half points for your Gortak, which is something at least. I got Know Thy Enemy and Guiding Light off on the Taurosaur, just so that he's an extra agility in case I do feel like I want the overrun. But I wasn't 100% decided on it yet.
Sure.
So I just thought I'd get that up. Says that. Kill the gargoyles, obviously.
Yeah, man.
And kill the chariot as well. So the Styg does his job.
Yeah.
I think I did use the toxic attack on this, just to be sure.
Just to make sure, yeah.
Because I just can't afford for that chariot to hold those 2 units up. Basically, they're needed elsewhere now. Over here, these chameleons run off the board.
Yeah, thank God.
So yeah, they failed their discipline check. All about taking those discipline checks.
Disciplines.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the salamander does 4 wounds before he sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, maybe if I'd shot at them earlier, they would have been a bit less threatening. But hey, because the gargoyles still did what they wanted to do anyway, despite the fact I'd shot at them. So.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you get another 4 off, you'd be fine.
Yeah. You charge the chameleons into your turn. I think this must be turn 4 or 5, probably.
Yeah, so I charged them. I think you held.
I did.
Because if you didn't, you'd be past my Gortak, and I could just charge you with my chaps. with my Centaur Kruger. And then I thought about moving the Gortak to where he is now.
Yes, you did.
But I changed that and just run him away into the corner to save 250 points.
Yeah. Yes.
Which felt it's just because of the game, right? But I was like, I have to, and then if I put him in the corner on the right where all the cards are, he's just safe. Then.
Yeah. Well, both the chameleons going down and the braves are gone. Divination magic won't stretch that far. So
yeah.
Did I have swarm of insects? I think I might have done, but still, even that wouldn't have stretched 48 inches across the other side of the board.
Yeah, so just hoping the wild horns clean up and take that token because I've got two more turns or something. So
yeah,
happy days. Obviously, take the salamander.
Yeah, and I think the overrun into the Saurian warriors is quite far, isn't it? I think it was possible. It was like a 10, or 11 or 12 maybe. But you are overrunning past the Taurosaur, so potentially leaving a flank charge for the Taurosaur and the Stygiasaur would have been a bit risky, I guess.
Yeah, I did. Worth mentioning here, I did charge the salamander with my Cyclops to try and terror him off, but he passed. Yeah, so
because he would have been out of Quattle's range. So
that's it. Once I saw that, I thought, well, if he fails that, then obviously I can charge your Taurosaur.
Yeah, it was the game of discipline 6 cold-blooded tests, really.
It was, yeah. But
no,
that's good. And my Gortak, don't worry about him; he's not there.
No, he will be moving. You did a swarm of insects on my Quattle's bunker to try and kill off a few more of them.
Yeah.
And I obviously
just enjoying wounded on 5s.
Yeah. And you kill the chameleons, of course. So into my turn, which must be turn 5, or might even be turn 4, bottom of 4th. So I move my Quattle and my Skinks separately aside of the wild horns, knowing they don't actually need to chaff the wild horns because the wild horns need a turn to turn around. And I take the charge with the Taurosaur. I go for it.
Yeah, and the Saurus.
And the Saurus into the Cyclops. I think they needed an 8 and they got in. So I was delighted with the Saurians getting on the Cyclops. He's already taken 2 or 3 wounds. So I'm hoping with spears and everything, I can do those last couple of wounds to get rid of the Cyclops and then potentially turn around and help the Taurosaur out against the Longhorns.
Yeah, man.
Obviously, what I'd done is I'd ensured that I got the Taurosaur charging, so he gets his impact hits. And I am a BSB captain, so I can be challenged out. But I was thinking, with the impact hits, I'm not actually that scared of the duel because you take
absolutely
potentially
impact hits and stomp.
Yeah, 4 or 5 impact hits, strength 6 on the way in. So I don't think any character wants that. So yeah,
no.
And Stygiasaur just gets ready for the support, really. So there's that. Yeah, this is your Gortak changing his mind and going back. Obviously, you did that in your turn, but for whatever reason, you didn't take a picture of it until this. I think this was you moving your wild horns onto the objective, actually, more than anything.
Yeah.
And Kruger stayed over there, actually. Did he? Maybe he was trying to get rid of.
No, this is my turn. I think he charged the other. I think they were actually on the board by an inch, and he could charge them. So.
Yeah, makes sense. So I got a good magic phase off. Basically, getting Scrying Stars Align off on my Taurosaur, which meant I could get Guiding Light on both my Taurosaur and my Saurian warriors. In your previous phase, you had got Awaken the Beast off on your Longhorns, though, to give them an extra strength.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were pretty nasty as well. So it wasn't like it was all one way in favour of the Taurosaur.
No, it'd be an interesting fight.
Yeah, because you were strength 5, were you, with your? Was it strength
6 with Awaken the Beast, and then Battle Focus, reroll into hit, all that goodness. So
yeah, very much so. I did this combat first because ideally I would have liked to have known right from this point that I could turn around to face the Longhorns. Unfortunately, you managed to do 2 wounds on your Cyclops, and you passed your back test. So
I did.
Killed 4 back, obviously.
Yeah.
So did we stick? Were we equal, or did you even have to take?
No, I think you had charge, banner, 2 ranks, and 2 wounds.
Yeah, so you did pass. Yeah.
So I was down by 2, I think.
But you had BSB in general there at that point because I chose to do that combat first. But
exactly.
I mean, half the reason I chose to do that combat first was just to make sure I had a BSB as well if the thing went wrong.
Yeah.
Because although I was happy with the Taurosaur charging, it could still go badly. So I wanted to make sure I had my BSB on the board still, in case it all went Pete Tong. And speaking of the combat with the Taurosaur, I issued a duel. I thought, come on then.
Buddy.
Who's got the balls to step up?
No one.
Who had the balls? No one.
No one. So yeah, just because of the impact, it's more than anything. My lord can't. I don't think my lord can stand up to it.
You didn't have a champion, did you? So
no, which is going to change.
I thought it might.
Just in case, yeah. Because obviously you do a bucket load of wounds here to my unit, and I do 3 back, which is pretty cool, especially with the distracting and things. But yeah, and my thought is I will hold because I'll be bodyguard because you can't. I don't think you can kill. I think you tried to kill the BSB.
I did with my actual Taurosaur attack, so I attacked the BSB and did 2 wounds, and then you recovered 1, didn't you? From what is it?
Twin hungers. Which I quite like. But yeah, so no, it's
actually we have a question, don't we? We have a question for the community. If the Taurosaur had done 3 wounds to your BSB, then Twin Hungers wouldn't have been able to recover a wound, would it?
Yes,
because it'd have been dead.
We don't think so. We don't think so.
Yeah, but because I only did 2 wounds, it meant 1 was recovered, and I only did 1. But yeah, the impact hits and the stomps killed a whole load of Longhorns. So
so 3, and I'm just hoping. Well, next time if you issue a challenge, I will accept because I think my lord can do 3 wounds to you.
Yeah, without the impact hits being a factor. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. So
definitely. So I mean, I think we were both fairly happy enough with that.
Yeah, as happy as we can be. Again, if I have a champion, it's easy.
Yeah.
I lose 1 model rather than what's it for 10.
Yeah, I think if you had a champion, I probably wouldn't have charged it, to be honest. So
yeah. Well, that means I'm happy.
I would have been doing divination magic on you instead of buffing. It would have been unerring strike and fate's judgment and swarm of insects and spark of creation.
Absolutely fine.
All of them. Yeah. So yeah,
that's fine. But that's the thing. I got magic resistant 2 as well on that unit. So I'd rather that than 10 wounds in combat.
Absolutely.
Because it can be negated. So a champion goes in there, I think.
Yeah.
As a slight tweak.
I'd say so. Into your turn, which must be your turn 5, I think. You turn the Wild Horns to face the action. Obviously, you've already made my skinks chaffing you, even though I haven't moved. You know what's coming with them. They're not getting into combat again, but still. You've got a wizard facing the right direction now, at least.
Absolutely, that's the main thing. And I think you can just ever so slightly, if you've got really good eyes, see Kruger's base on the right-hand side in the middle. But yeah, so he's moved to be within 18 of everyone, just so that I've got some totems, and which means I get Awaken the Beast off because you let it go.
Yes, those totems are nasty for combat. Against the Taurosaur, I can't let you have AP +2. I can't.
And an extra attack each, so it's just
I can't let you have those. Yeah. So Awaken the Beast is the lesser of all the evils that you've thrown at me. This was crazy. I took a few wounds from your attacks, 4 wounds. And I only did 1 wound to your Cyclops. Literally, it was the last wound, and you failed your Aegis save, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did 1 wound.
I could have survived. Could have survived. But if I survived, well, I would have had a stomp.
Exactly.
Stomp. So I'd have done all right.
I think I'd have been testing on Steadfast, and then I wouldn't have been able to potentially turn around, which was the intention all along.
So close. So close, Cyclops.
I know. 1 wound. But yeah, I think really they should have been killing it. especially this turn, but definitely maybe the last turn before that. But anyhow, so in the duel, which you accepted with your Beastie Boy,
of course. What have I got? 6 attacks, hitting on 3s or whatever. 4s, distracting, re-rolling, and strength 7 now. Yeah. Might be more, actually. Might be more strength. But yeah. So I thought, I can do 3 wounds, and he just did 2.
Yes.
And then got battered.
Absolutely stomped into dust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
so General's dead.
General's dead.
I think...
but obviously I've still got Bodyguard, so it's not huge.
Yeah, I think I was testing, wasn't I? I'm not very... It was pretty close.
2 versus 3, and then I had a rank banner and a standard to your banner. So yeah, maybe by 1.
Yeah. But yes, it was all good. I held, and now my Saurian warriors will turn around going into my turn 5. So yeah, obviously my Taurosaur's looking a bit ropey now, but the reinforcements are coming in.
Yeah, I got to lose my general to it, but then if you don't kill something like that, it's going to have a lot of attacks on you. So
yeah. And so this is how it's looking at the end of your turn 5. Ready for my turn 5. Charge!
Charge, both come in.
Both come in. Stygiasaur and Saurian warriors come in. I need to kill that Longhorn unit. I honestly do. And they're wounded without their general, so there's actually a chance of it.
Absolutely.
Obviously, the Skink's going to chaff your Wildhorns to get rid of them, and my Quattle's just backing up the units against the Longhorns. I figured basically there wasn't that much difficulty in placing my Quattle there, because if the Longhorns actually beat all 3 of those units, I've lost anyway. So there's no point in worrying about where my Quattle is, like for a turn 6 charge or anything.
Yeah, sure.
If the Longhorns have got the opportunity to charge the Quattle, then I've lost, irrespective. So I wasn't too worried about that. I got Stars Align up on my Saurian warriors, just to give them a bit of extra firepower.
I think I stopped Know Thy Enemy because of the agility. Yeah. That was my priority here.
I think so. I think it was probably on the Taurosaur, wasn't it? Because the Taurosaur...
No, it would have been on the Saurus, I think.
Would it?
Yeah. Because at the minute I'm hitting you on them on 3s, obviously before Stars Align. But I would have been hitting you on 4s with that, and you would have gone first rather than at the same time. Because I believe you're agility 3 now?
Yeah. Although, I think Know Thy Enemy would have made the Taurosaur agility 4, and you wouldn't have wanted that.
My BSB, I think, goes before that. So.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And I only need to do 1 wound. I'm pretty confident I can do 1 wound on it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And so, with nothing much else going on after Magic now, because chameleons are all dead and all sorts over there. Bit of carnage.
Yeah, there was a lot of carnage.
So let's try and pick this picture apart, shall we?
So in terms of the beasts, I kill the Taurosaur and I do 3 wounds, I think out of 3, on the flank to your Saurus. It looks like I do 3 wounds to your Styg as well.
Yes, you did, yeah.
So I did like a decent amount of wounds.
Definitely.
And I think I had some overkill in the because I think I challenged with BSB maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
No, you did.
But you just wipe out the rest of the unit. Ironically, and you run me down and catch me.
I think you only lost combat by 1.
Yeah, no, that's.
And you didn't have bodyguard anymore.
I think I rolled 2 8s, didn't I? And because I haven't got the general now, I'm down to 7. So ironically, if I had that champion earlier, I think I'd stick around because I have 10 extra wounded bodyguard and think. Although it wouldn't have mattered. So.
Did you decline the duel?
No, I don't think so. I would have accepted with my BSB on the Taurus.
I'm just thinking, why weren't you bodyguard? Because I wouldn't have been able to kill the BSB before.
I think I was, but you still have fear, don't you?
Oh yeah, sure. And you didn't get Savage Fury off that turn, I don't think.
I think we realised at this point that I'm not fearless, which actually is quite a big thing.
Yeah.
Because your Styg is fear.
Terror. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So so actually I was -1 leadership, so that's 8 down to 7, and I rolled 2 8s. I could have held.
Yeah.
But and they all went down.
Yes. Stidge overruns just in front of Kruger, and the Warriors just go to there with the objective. And I was under the impression the whole game, I mean, this was a rules checking thing, which you knew the right answer to right from the off. But I honestly thought that by killing the Longhorns, the Saurian Warriors would get the objective and be able to hold 2 objectives, and that would mean I would win the objective. And I was like, yes, I've killed the Longhorns. I get the objective, 2-1 to me. I win the objective. All I've got to do now is keep myself up on points, and I win the battle. And you were like, no, the Saurian Warriors can't carry the other objective.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I said, oh, right, who's picking them up then?
Yeah.
Like, sort of thing, like, oh, have I missed something? Is the Stygius or scoring or something like that? And you were like, no, the Saurus are, obviously. I was like, yeah. But they've already got one.
and I thought they could have 2. I thought they could have 2. I don't know if that ever changed. I always thought that in Spoils of War, a unit could have more than 1. So I was a bit gutted about that, because I thought that was my ticket to victory there. I don't think I would have done anything differently. It's not like the Warriors the Saurians would have wanted to choose a different target or anything. But I honestly thought that I was going to get both objectives with the Saurians and then hold them. And that would win me the battle. But still, killing the Longhorns is awesome. So they bugger off with the other objective, meaning it's 1-1. And into your turn, you charge the Skinks, obviously, to kill them.
I want to kill the Skinks for some points. And Kruger goes in. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
Only got to do 2 wounds? 3 wounds?
2.
2 wins. So, Hawthorne's Curse, let's see if it's any good in combat.
Absolutely. I think it's a good little item. Skinks die, of course.
Yep.
Kruger. Look at that.
And Kruger does the wounds on the charge. I think I got +1 attack and AP2, so he had an extra attack to do it, which was nice. Battle focus, I think I got a 6 when I did the hits as well. So they also, the magic and the totems definitely helped here. But I think it was like strength 7 or something on the charge. So
cool.
it was wicked. Kruger, boy.
Stitch didn't stand a chance, really.
No.
Yeah, and then what happened next?
I'll let you talk.
No, don't.
All right, I'll talk about it. So obviously, because I killed the Stidge and the Saurus aren't fearless, they've got a really tough panic test to make, and especially with it's made harder with guiding light on them. As well. So they've got 4 dice to roll under 8.
8 or under.
Discarding the highest.
Highest 2.
No re-roll though. So that makes it easier.
Well, yeah. 3 6s.
Old lucky 6s. You're taking my taking my title, mate.
That's just...
I want to check those dice. They're a bit
skewed.
Skewed, aren't they? 3 6s out of 4. Well done.
Yeah. That would have been amazing if it had been the chameleons on the Gortak.
So that was a bonus.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. I lose the objective on that roll.
So Kruger, boy, well done, my boy Kruger.
Disappointed does not cover the feeling there. It really doesn't.
That's 5 hours wasted, wasn't that?
I think that's what I said. Yeah.
It was so harsh. It
was. I mean, obviously you'll see the score in a moment as we are reaching the end of the battle. But I think I needed to roll.
Unlucky fella.
I think I needed to roll less than an 18 out of 24. Because I think I worked it out because I literally didn't sleep thinking about what I needed to roll.
Oh no!
I think because rolling 4 dice, the maximum you can get is obviously 24, and I think if I roll less than 18,
so it was a great roll
combined, then I stick, or 17, something like that.
Fantastic roll. So
if any one of those 6s had been anything less, all the 3 had been a 2 or less, then I would have passed. Literally,
ifs and buts, mate.
Yeah.
No, it's really unlucky. That
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Obviously, they rally because they have four dice cold.
Yeah. You won't do that again.
Light, they rally, but they're just looking at that objective marker.
Yeah.
Which they can't get, and you win the objective 1-0 with 2 objectives sat right there.
Wild Horns, for the win.
Crazy. So, yeah, it turned out to be
Beast Heads win. So it was 11-9
It
on
would have been
points. There was a
11-9
lot
on
of
points,
carnage. There was a lot of carnage, and then the bonus of that crazy roll at the end took it to a 14-6.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as bad as I feared. At the time, I said to you, I think I've lost.
Yeah. Oh, that's taken it from a draw to a 20.
Well, yeah, pretty much. That's what I said. I said, I thought genuinely I'd scraped a draw, which wasn't technically true because it was at 11-9.
Yeah, 11-9.
But near enough. And I thought I'd ended up with like an 18-2 because of that one roll or something. Not quite that bad. Yeah. It was only 14. But still, I was gutted. About that. Honestly, right, after my bad start to the game, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, I would have been very happy to have lost that one 9-11. Very happy. And then this happens. So if this had been a tournament, I would have really felt like I'd just been screwed out of three tournament points. Because I would have taken 9 and said, yeah, fair enough.
Luckily, it was a friendly game.
Indeed, very friendly. I think it was just a bit comical, wasn't it? Really, at the end, failing those thingy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I got a couple of pictures about things I am continually learning from Saurians. If you don't mind me taking you through them, Lucky Sixes.
Please do.
So this is one of the pictures. Basically, we've already covered this quite a lot, really. I should have had turn 1. I let you have turn 1. There is no way I should have just put my raptors down. Because my chameleons need to get turn 1. They literally need to kill that Gortak before the Gortak moves. And then I just do what I did in the last battle, which is flee from your Jabberwock. Get the hell out of there. If the chameleons lose their points because they're fleeing from the Jabberwock, that actually doesn't matter this turn round, because your Gortak's worth 500 points, which is more than the chameleons. And if they don't flee forever, then I go back and kill the Jabberwock next turn, or later on in the battle. By not
I'll give you another point on this.
Yeah.
You should have been 22.5 away from my Jabberwock
to avoid the breath weapon. Yeah. No, absolutely.
So that's a slight thing where, because you were 20 away, I could march and use my thing.
Yes. No. I agreed. Obviously, in that case, I wasn't banking on an 11 for the breath weapon.
No, of course. But I only need to do 3 for the discipline test.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
If I kill 9 or 3, it's still the same. So I was pretty sure I would do 3 wounds.
Yeah.
With it.
But that's the thing. By giving you turn 1, you're right. I should have been too far away for the breath weapon after knowing I didn't get turn 1. But I should have just dropped for first straight away. The chameleons have got a really good target. They scout, so I know where your Gortak's going to be. I should have got. But
you gave me the choice to go first as well. So I in the end, because I picked sides, which I didn't really know it. And then you said that I could put down first as well.
So I gave you 2 chances.
You actually gave me 2 opportunities.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, so I should have just had the choice and dropped first right from the off. You're right. I've forgotten that.
Just always
even more.
Everyone should always drop first because that's why.
And this one is another picture of a mistake. Obviously, I banked on the Raptors being able to hold the Wild Horns. That was silly. I was banking too much on magic. Really skewed my perspective of what they could hold up to. Really, I guess I didn't factor in the AP of all your magic. But you had 3 spells that did AP 1 in combat.
What's the third one?
I think you got 2 of the totems. One does one additional
one of them do AP 1.
I think so. Okay. Another one does AP 2, and then Awaken the Beast does AP 1. So I couldn't stop all your magic. So I was thinking here that your Wild Horns are strength 4, AP 1 at best, and I stop Awaken the Beast. But yeah, I didn't bank on.
You can't afford to with the totems.
My 2-up armor save was useless, really, for what I thought. What I should have done is I should have backed away from your Longhorns. Shouldn't have been anywhere near them. I could have swift reformed and gone behind this river, and just given you a long charge with your Longhorns and reset my lines. I didn't need to do this at all. So yeah, I think I overestimated my Raptors and underestimated Beastherd combat magic, basically. But the other mistake on this picture is giving the Chariots the unavoidable 10 charge. I don't need to be so far up the hill. I could be on the hill another 2 inches back.
Yeah.
So yeah, my Ramphidons were thrown away, and that obviously meant I was also in a bad position for my Quator later on. I was playing the defensive right from this moment. This is my turn 1 movement. So I think really I completely stuffed myself over by not deploying first for first turn. And this turn 1 movement phase is really, really poor. Really poor. So that is why I lost, I'm saying. The other thing, which I don't think is a massive issue, is I don't actually think I should have charged the Sigisaur here. I don't think he added enough, and it meant you actually...
He might have done some wounds, though, with the stomps and the things, because you've, like... I guess it mattered for the fear.
Well, yes, there is that, but...
the only reason they ran was because of the Stygiasaur.
No, but you also did 3 wounds to the Stygiasaur. So that gave you the combat res. The terror...
But you did 10 in total. You did 10 in total from me, and it wasn't just from the Saurus.
Maybe. But
I think the fear's crucial here.
Maybe. Yeah.
The Taurosaur's never surviving if you don't put a stitch in. It probably doesn't survive regardless.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't think he was going to survive either way. But no, I think the Stygia would have been better off trying to deal with chaffing Kruger earlier on, and
potentially. Although I would have stuck around, and I think I'd grind your Saurus out.
I'm not sure you do. Do
you not think?
No, I don't think so. Not after the Saurus have 1 turn of combat here. Even if you hold it and kill the Taurosaur, I think the Saurus has got enough in them to carry on that fight.
Oh, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the grind on that.
Well, you'd have to.
I got a BSB, I got a character there, and my guys, and I'm all going first before you. Remember as well.
Yeah, but that's after you've taken wounds from this combat. And my Saurus are doing a fair few wounds to you with Stars Align up. Because you've only got like 12, 13 models there. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't do 10 wounds purely from the Saurus, though.
No, but I do a fair few.
At this point. So that's what I mean. The Stygiasaur's killed 4 or 5. And that's 4 or 5 people that then don't attack on the next turn.
They wouldn't attack on this time either, though, would they? That's what I'm saying.
No, but if the Stygia isn't there, those 4 or 5 are still there. I pass my bodyguard, turn around to see you, and attack before you go. Probably with magic.
Yeah.
So it's really close.
Oh, I agree. And we will never know.
But the Stygiasaur meant they ran.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is all. No, it did. It did. The fear.
In this occasion, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is not taking 3 wounds on the Stygiasaur, and I use the Stygiasaur elsewhere. I think maybe if I threaten Kruger with a Spark of Creation or a Swarm of Insects and Divination Magic, I think maybe Kruger goes down earlier.
I think Kruger could go down.
But that's one thing we'll never know. So I'm not really pointing this out as a mistake as such. Just maybe something I could have done differently. But yeah, anyway. But
Kruger's worth a lot less than that unit, and he effectively meant that unit went down, including the BSB.
Yeah.
So you got BSB for I don't know what, let's say 350, 550, including the bonus, and them were probably worth about 600, 700.
Yeah.
So you might not get those points, which is 1,300 points.
That's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
And just on the, I mean, that's this time. Next time I could roll a 7 on 2 things, and it's irrelevant. then anyway, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I suppose with a few left, you do kill me on the grind. But no, what you say is valid enough. But it's just, what I'm saying is maybe the student didn't need to go in and could have done something different in this position.
Sure.
Yeah, but we will never know. Yeah, and like I say, I would have been delighted after that horrible start, because I felt at the start like my mistakes were really compounded by you getting a good breath weapon, the chariots charging the Ramphadons, you overrunning your wild horns past my Taurosaur. It was like, I've made a mistake with my positioning. The Raptors are screwed. The Ramphadons are screwed. But every time the way it ended up for you was like perfect for you. So,
lucky sixes. Huh?
I know, mate. I know.
I just luck my way to the victory.
Yep, pretty much. But hey, it was a good fun battle, wasn't it? It was good to see the beast herds out. So
yeah, enjoyed it. Enjoyed seeing all the different mechanics.
And of course, I cannot use my normal excuse of you playing your power lists that you're well practiced with when you brought out a new list and a new book you never used before. So well done. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Give us some comments about what you thought about those tactical blunders, and who would have won had I not charged the Sidiosaur. Is Lucky Sixes right? Probably. And we'll roll on to the next one.
Yeah, man. Like, share, subscribe as always, especially with all the Twitters, the Instagram for Gobbo. Get those commissions coming in, because I think, did he say he was filled up till nearly the end of 2020?
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. Yeah,
but
get your commissions in.
But he will squeeze them in. He's good like that.
Yeah.
He'll just push our stuff down.
Oh no, yeah, we had loads of commissions on them. And no, they're not getting done till 2025.
But yeah, get in touch with those. If you're interested in the B-Steads stuff as well, and you want to give me some more advice, not just on the comments section, but over in the forum, hit us up over there, because I've started a thread about them, and I want to learn lots and lots and lots about them. So be tweaks of this list, although to start off with, not much, because I want to see how all these units do against lots of different things.
Yeah,
Krugar's there to stay. You can't convince me else otherwise. He's the only thing that's staple.
Yeah, no, man of the match in this one. He did awesome. So. Awesomely. Wicked. Right, we'll see you for the next one.
See you later.